Write this down. Need does not attract money. Management attracts money. Take a deep breath, because I know some of you just became nervous. Do not get quiet now. I am not attacking your prayer life. I am trying to rescue your future. Money does not respond to emergencies. Money does not respond to tears. Money does not respond to panic, fear, begging, shouting, or religious emotion. Money responds to order. Money responds to diligence. Money responds to trust. Money responds to a proven ability to manage. This is why two people can have the same need, pray the same prayer, cry the same tears, come to the same altar, and one person increases while the other remains stuck. The difference is not always that God loves one more than the other. The difference is often management. God is not careless with resources. God is loving, but he is also a king. And the kingdom does not operate on emotion. A kingdom operates on law. If you violate the law, your tears do not cancel the result. If you ignore stewardship, your shouting does not produce increase. Now listen carefully. Many people are praying for more while wasting what they already have. They are asking God for abundance while mismanaging the seed. They want a harvest, but they have no order. They want overflow, but they have no budget. They want promotion, but they are late, careless, disorganized, and inconsistent. Then they say, Lord, bless me. And heaven says, with what? You have not managed what I already placed in your hands. That is difficult, but it is also mercy. Because if God gives increase to disorder, increase becomes destruction. If God gives more money to bad habits, more money only reveals those habits faster. If you are broke with 1,000, you may become broke with 10,000. Because poverty is not first a number. Poverty begins as mismanagement of resources, time, relationships, opportunities, and thoughts. Everybody say management. Say it again, management. That is the word that will offend your excuses and deliver your life. Because when you understand that money is not moved by need but by management, you stop begging and start building. You stop blaming and start measuring. You stop crying over what left and start organizing what remains. Some of you are not missing provision. You are missing systems. You are not missing blessing. You are leaking blessing. God keeps sending seed, but there is no container. God keeps giving opportunities, but there is no discipline. God keeps opening doors, but there is no preparation. Then we spiritualize irresponsibility. We call disorder a season. We call waste an attack. We call laziness waiting on God. No, my friend, sometimes it is not the devil. Sometimes it is your drawer, your schedule, your spending, your appetite, or your failure to keep records. And I am not saying this to condemn you. I am saying it because your destiny is too expensive to be managed casually. Your children are waiting for you to become serious. Your future is waiting for you to become orderly. Your assignment is waiting for you to stop treating money like a miracle and start treating it like a trust. If this teaching is already challenging your thinking, stay with it. Subscribe and let this channel become a place where your mind is trained for kingdom responsibility, because we are not here to excite you for one evening. We are here to change the way you think, the way you manage, the way you build, and the way you leave something behind. So let me say it again before we go further. Your emergency is not a financial magnet. Your crying is not a financial strategy. Your panic is not stewardship. Money does not respond to need. Money responds to your capacity to manage. Now, if money responds to management, then you must understand the environment where money was designed to function. Write this down. The kingdom is not a feeling. The kingdom is a government. And a government exists to administer resources, territory, people, and purpose. That means when Jesus preached the kingdom, he was not preaching church emotion. He was announcing a system of divine administration. God loves you, but his love does not cancel his laws. If you jump from a building, gravity will not say, "They were crying, so let me pause." No, gravity is not cruel. Gravity is law. The law works whether you understand it, like it, agree with it, or rebuke it. Stewardship works the same way. You can shout over disorder, but shouting does not organize your money. You can cry over bills, but crying does not create a budget. You can pray all night, but if you wake up and continue wasting what you prayed for, you have violated the law. Do not get quiet. This is where religion becomes nervous, because many people want kingdom results without kingdom responsibility. They want provision, but they do not want administration. They want harvest, but they do not want cultivation. They want God to break the laws he created because they are under pressure. But pressure is not stewardship. Panic is not management. Fear is not faith. Genesis 2:5 gives us the first management principle in the Bible. It says, God did not allow the plants of the field to spring up because there was no man to work the ground. Read that again in your spirit. God had created the potential. The soil was there. The seed was there. The rain was possible. The garden was already in the mind of God. But growth was restricted because there was no manager. That means the first reason for withheld increase in Scripture was not a lack of love. It was a lack of management. God said, in effect, I cannot release growth into an environment where there is no administrator. The ground needed a man. The seed needed a steward. The potential needed a cultivator. God did not allow anything to grow until there was someone responsible enough to manage what would grow. This is powerful. Some of you are asking, why has God not released more? Maybe he is not punishing you. Maybe he is protecting the resource. Maybe he is protecting the harvest from your habits. Maybe he is protecting your future from your present disorder. Because whatever God gives to poor management will eventually be damaged by poor management. Prayer invites heaven. Management prepares earth. Say that. Prayer invites heaven, but management prepares earth. You need both. Prayer says, Lord, release. Management says, Lord, I am ready. Prayer opens the conversation. Stewardship builds the container. And God will not pour abundance into a container full of holes. So stop using prayer to cover irresponsibility. Pray, yes. Fast, yes. Worship, yes. But when you finish praying, open the bills. When you finish worshiping, check the account. When you finish fasting, make the plan. Heaven is not offended by order. Heaven is drawn to order. The Spirit of God moved over chaos in Genesis, but God did not leave it chaotic. He separated, he named, he measured, he assigned. That is management. The kingdom does not release provision into atmospheres of panic. It releases provision into systems of responsibility. This is why you must stop saying, God forgot me. No. Ask yourself, have I created a system that can receive what I am asking for? Because if there is no order, increase becomes more confusion. More money with no discipline is not blessing. It is accelerated loss. God is loving, but he is also wise. And wisdom will hold back what love wants to give until management is ready to protect it. So tonight the correction is simple. Stop pressuring God emotionally and start aligning with his laws practically. The kingdom is government. Government is administration. Administration is management. And management is evidence that you are ready for more. Now watch this carefully. God almost never begins with overflow. He begins with seed. Everybody say seed. He gives you something small, something hidden, something unimpressive, something that does not look like the size of your prayer. And he watches what you do with it. You are praying for abundance, but God is testing you with seed. You are asking for harvest, but he gave you time. You are asking for open doors, but he gave you a skill. You are asking for wealth, but he gave you an assignment, a relationship, an idea, an opportunity, a room, a phone, a mind, a body, or a day. And because it did not arrive as overflow, you despised it. That is why some people remain poor. Poverty is not only the absence of money. Poverty is also the failure to recognize resources. Write this down. Ownership belongs to God. Management belongs to man. Increase belongs to faithfulness. Say it again. Ownership belongs to God. Management belongs to man. Increase belongs to faithfulness. You do not own the seed. God owns it. You manage it. And when you manage it correctly, God releases increase. Luke 16:10 says, "He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much." Now do not spiritualize that until you miss the principle. Jesus is talking about trust. He is talking about stewardship. He is talking about money. If you're not faithful with little, you are not prepared for much. Much is not given simply because you cried for it. Much is given because little tested and proved you. Some of you keep saying, "I do not have anything." That is not completely true. You may not have what you desire, but you have something. The question is not only, what do I lack? The question is also, what have I failed to identify? What have I failed to organize? What have I failed to multiply? What have I failed to respect because it appeared too small? God never judges a seed only by its size. He judges it by its potential. A seed does not look like a forest, but if you manage it properly, there is a forest inside it. A skill does not look like a company, but if you discipline it, package it, practice it, and serve people with it, there may be a company inside it. An hour does not look like a future. But if you manage enough hours, you build a life. Stop despising small things. Small money is still money. Small time is still time. A small opportunity is still an opportunity. A small favor is still favor. If you waste small things because they are small, God cannot trust you with large things, because large things are simply small things multiplied. You say, when God blesses me, I will become disciplined. No, discipline is how you qualify for the blessing. You say, when I get more money, I will start keeping records. No, keep records now. You say, when I get a better job, I will become faithful. No, faithfulness in your present job is what prepares you for a better one. This is why the kingdom begins with seed. Seed reveals character. Seed reveals patience. Seed reveals diligence. Seed reveals whether you are a consumer or a steward. A consumer eats everything. A steward separates seed from bread. A consumer says, this is too little. A steward says, this is enough to begin. What small thing has God already given you that you keep ignoring because it is not yet large? Is it a gift? Is it 2 hours after work? Is it a relationship you have neglected? Is it an idea you keep delaying? Is it a small income that you continue to waste? Is it a room you could organize? Is it a skill you could improve? Is it a debt you could begin attacking little by little? Do not ask God for harvest while you are mistreating the seed. If you cannot manage seed, you are not ready for harvest. Harvest increases responsibility. Harvest increases visibility. Harvest increases pressure. Harvest attracts demands. So if your management falls apart at the seed level, harvest will bury you. God is not holding back abundance because He is cruel. He is training you. He is saying, show me what you do with little. Show me what you do when nobody applauds. Show me what you do when it is small, slow, hidden, and ordinary. Because faithfulness in little is the doorway to much. So go back and look again. Look at your time. Look at your talents. Look at your relationships. Look at your money. Look at your house. Look at your hands. There is seed somewhere. Identify it. Organize it. Protect it. Plant it. Work it. Multiply it. God can place abundance in seed form, but only management can bring the harvest out. Now let us diagnose the problem. Increase cannot remain for long in the hands of disorder. Write that down. Increase cannot remain for long in the hands of disorder. Some of you are not being attacked by shortage. You are being exposed by disorder. The money comes, but it cannot stay. The opportunity comes, but it cannot grow. The favor comes, but it cannot multiply, because there is no management system protecting what God released. Your enemies are not always mysterious. Let me name them: waste, disorder, debt without discipline, impulsive spending, greed, and dependence on miracles. These are not minor issues. These are financial diseases. Waste says, it is only a little. Disorder says, I will find it later. Impulse says, I deserve it now. Debt without discipline says, I will make tomorrow pay for today. Greed says, use it on appetite instead of assignment. Miracle dependence says, God will fix what I refuse to manage. Do not get quiet now. Take a deep breath. You may not need a breakthrough first. You may need a budget first. I know that hurts. Some of you want oil on your head, but God wants a pen in your hand. You want the prophet to call your name, but heaven is saying, call your bank statement. You want somebody to lay hands on you, but maybe you need to lay hands on those receipts and discover where the money went. Greed is not only wanting more. Greed is the mismanagement of resources for personal appetite. Greed is when your assignment is starving, but your image is eating. Greed is when your future has no seed, but your closet has evidence. Greed is when your children have no inheritance, but your appetite has a testimony. Greed is not measured only by how much you possess. It is measured by whether purpose controls your possessions. This is why God cannot trust some people with abundance. They say, Lord, give me more. God says, for what? The last increase became shoes, food, entertainment, waste, and excuses. Not you. I am talking about the person behind you. Do not look back. But listen carefully, because this is serious. If every increase becomes consumption, then you are not a steward. You are simply a more expensive consumer. Fear makes people hide money. Need makes people chase money. Management makes money trust you. Fear says, I better bury it. Need says, I better run after it. Management says, I know where it belongs, what it is for, and how it must multiply. Money is looking for trust. Money is looking for order. Money is looking for a place where it will not be abused, wasted, misrepresented, or swallowed by appetite. Proverbs says, lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands bring wealth. Read Proverbs. It is not sentimental. It says the plans of the diligent lead to profit, but everyone who is hasty comes to poverty. Hasty, impulsive, unplanned, no counsel, no records, no patience, no discipline. Proverbs also says, where there is no counsel, plans fail. So do not tell me that you are waiting on God while refusing wisdom. Wisdom is God's management system working in your mind. Poverty is not always caused by oppression, although oppression is real. Poverty is not always caused by the economy, although the economy matters. Sometimes poverty is connected to slackness. Sometimes it is connected to haste. Sometimes it is connected to a lack of counsel. Sometimes it is connected to a life with no written plan. The danger is that if you blame everything outside yourself, you never correct what is within your control. Debt without discipline is dangerous because it makes your future pay for your lack of management today. Debt can become a tool in the hands of wisdom, but debt becomes a prison in the hands of appetite. If you borrow to build, you need a plan. If you borrow to impress, you need deliverance. If you borrow because you cannot say no to yourself, the lender may not be your greatest problem. Your appetite may be your problem. This is why management is spiritual. It reveals lordship. Jesus said you cannot serve God and mammon. He did not say you cannot have money. He said you cannot serve it. Many people serve money by chasing it. Others serve money by fearing it. Others serve money by wasting it to prove something to people who are not even paying attention to them. But kingdom people make money serve purpose. They assign it, they direct it, they measure it, they multiply it. So go home and face the disorder. Open the drawers, open the accounts, open the bills, open the subscriptions, open the calendar, find the leaks. Stop calling leaks warfare. Stop calling waste enjoyment. Stop calling impulse freedom. Freedom without discipline becomes bondage. God is not obligated to finance confusion. He is not obligated to multiply irresponsibility. He is not obligated to bless what you keep wasting. But the moment you bring order, diligence, honesty, counsel, and discipline, something begins to shift. Pressure becomes information. Bills become a plan. Seed becomes strategy. Need becomes management. So before you ask for more, ask, can more live here? Can more survive my habits? Can more survive my schedule? Can more survive my appetite? Can more survive my lack of records? Because increase is not only received, increase must be housed. Increase cannot remain for long in the hands of disorder. Now let me prove it to you through Jesus himself. When Jesus fed the 5,000, most people only saw the miracle. They saw the bread multiplying, the fish multiplying, hungry people eating, and everyone being satisfied. But if you only see the miracle, you miss the management. The miracle did not happen in chaos. The miracle happened inside order. Before he multiplied anything, Jesus made the people sit down. Write that down. He made them sit down. That means the first act before multiplication was organization. Hungry people standing everywhere, moving everywhere, grabbing everywhere, and complaining everywhere cannot be trusted with increase. So Jesus brought order to appetite. He said, in effect, before I feed you, I must arrange you. Do not get quiet. Some of you want God to feed your life, but you refuse to sit your life down. Your money is running. Your time is running. Your emotions are running. Your mouth is running. Your appetite is running. And you are asking for multiplication while everything is still in motion. No, sit it down. Put it into groups. Put it into categories. Put it into order. The Bible says he commanded them to sit in companies, in groups of hundreds and groups of 50s. That is administration. That is structure. That is a system. Jesus did not throw bread into a crowd and say, catch your miracle. No, he organized the people. Then he blessed the bread. Then he broke it. Then he gave it to the disciples. Then the disciples distributed it. That is delegation. So watch the order. Sit down, organize, bless, break, delegate, distribute, measure. This is kingdom management. Jesus was not only demonstrating power, he was demonstrating government. He was showing that divine supply flows through disciplined systems. Even the Son of God did not feed a multitude carelessly. And after everyone ate, after everyone was satisfied, after the miracle was complete, Jesus gave another command. He said, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. That is the part many religious people ignore. They love the multiplication, but they ignore the fragments. They love the overflow, but they despise the crumbs. But Jesus said, pick them up. Why would Jesus care about crumbs after he had just multiplied bread? Because abundance does not give you permission to waste. Let me say it again. Abundance does not give you permission to waste. The fact that God can multiply it does not mean you have the right to waste it. The fact that God can give you more does not mean you may abuse what remains. Kingdom people do not waste what God multiplies. Say it. Kingdom people do not waste what God multiplies. If Jesus cared about fragments, who are you to despise leftovers? If Jesus measured what remained, who are you to live without records? If Jesus collected crumbs after a miracle, who are you to throw away resources and call yourself spiritual? Some of you are praying for groceries while throwing away food every week. You cook too much, waste half, buy more, waste that too, and then say, Lord, provide. Heaven is saying, gather the fragments. Some of you are asking God to reduce your bills, but every light is on, every device is plugged in, water is running, subscriptions are charging, and you do not even know what you are paying for. Gather the fragments. You have clothes you do not wear, tools you do not use, books you do not read, skills you do not develop, contacts you do not call, hours you do not manage, and opportunities you keep delaying. Those are fragments. Do not look at me strangely. A fragment is anything remaining after provision that still contains purpose. Time has crumbs. 15 minutes is a crumb. 30 minutes after work is a crumb. The commute is a crumb. The lunch break is a crumb. The hour you spend scrolling is a crumb. And when you gather enough crumbs, you can build a course, read a book, learn a skill, start a business, restore a relationship, or discipline your body. Conversations have crumbs. Someone gave you advice and you laughed it off. Someone opened a door and you never followed up. Someone corrected you and you became offended instead of educated. Gather the fragments. Opportunities have crumbs. You failed once, but information remains. You lost money once, but wisdom remains. You made a mistake once, but instruction remains. Pick it up. Miracles are not excuses for mismanagement. Miracles reveal what disciplined hands can multiply. Jesus placed the bread in order before it increased, and he preserved what remained after it increased. That means management comes before the miracle and after the miracle. Before the miracle, management prepares the environment. After the miracle, management protects the overflow. So stop saying, if God really blessed me, I would not have to count. No. If God really blessed you, you would count more carefully. Counting is not unbelief. Counting is stewardship. Measuring is not fear. Measuring is responsibility. Recording is not a lack of faith. Recording is evidence that you honor the resource. 12 baskets remained. Not one basket, 12. That means the fragments became evidence. The leftovers became testimony. The crumbs became measurable proof that the kingdom wastes nothing. Jesus did not say, leave it there, we can always make more. That is how poor thinkers talk. He said, gather it. In other words, respect what remains. Go home and gather the fragments. Gather the money leaking through foolish habits. Gather the time leaking through entertainment. Gather the food leaking through waste. Gather the energy leaking through useless conversations. Gather the opportunities leaking through procrastination. Gather the wisdom leaking through offense. Because the next level of your life may not begin with something new. It may begin with properly managing what is left. God can multiply bread, but he still expects you to pick up crumbs. He can release abundance, but he will not bless waste. He can create overflow, but he will test whether overflow makes you careless or more responsible. Kingdom people do not waste what God multiplies. Now, if you are going to gather the fragments, you must learn where to place them. Write this down. Money goes where there is order, diligence, honesty, and purpose. Money is not impressed by your noise. Money is not moved by your appearance. Money is not attracted to confusion with a Bible verse placed on top of it. Money is attracted to management. You do not pursue money only. You become the kind of person money can trust. There is a difference. When you chase money without discipline, you become a slave. When you manage purpose with discipline, money becomes a servant. That is why Jesus said, "If you are faithful in little, you will be trusted with much." Faithfulness is not only a church word. Faithfulness means consistent, honest, dependable, measurable, and predictable. Can God predict what you will do when he gives you seed? So begin with order. Track your income. Track your spending. Track your waste for 30 days. Write down where every dollar goes. Not most of it, every dollar. Do not say, "I think I know." Thinking is not accounting. Feeling is not a financial report. Open your account. Look at the numbers. The numbers are preaching to you, but you keep rebuking the sermon. Assign every dollar before your appetite assigns it. Rent has a place. Food has a place. Giving has a place. Saving has a place. Debt payment has a place. Investment has a place. Learning has a place. If money has no assignment, impulse will employ it. Impulse is a terrible manager. Some of you do not need more money first. You need fewer leaks. Cancel what you do not use. Stop buying what you do not need. Bring lunch in a bag. Do not get quiet now. You are too proud to carry lunch, but you are not too proud to borrow money. You spend $15 every day because you want to feel successful. Then you complain that you cannot save. $15 a day is not small when it leaks every single day. Little by little can build wealth, and little by little can also destroy it. Economize. Everybody say, economize. To economize means to receive the greatest purpose from the smallest resources. It does not mean being cheap. It means being wise. It means nothing God gives you is wasted, abused, ignored, or left unused. Your clothes must serve a purpose. Your car must serve a purpose. Your phone must serve a purpose. Your time must serve a purpose. Your money must serve a purpose. If it has no purpose, it becomes a toy for your appetite. And let me say something about giving. Tithing and giving are not religious payments designed to calm God down. God is not broke. God is not nervous. God does not need your money to pay heaven's light bill. The tithe is trust training. Giving is management training. God is teaching the manager that resources must obey purpose before they obey appetite. When you bring the first portion to God, you are saying, money is not my master. Fear is not my master. Appetite is not my master. God is my source, and I am his steward. That act breaks greed. It trains your heart. It disciplines your hand. It reminds your money that it belongs under government, under kingdom government. If you cannot give honestly, you will not manage abundance honestly. If you cheat God with little, you may cheat people with much. Do not shout over that. Think. Honesty is a financial magnet. Trust is capital. Your name is capital. Your word is capital. Your discipline is capital. Money looks for places where promises are kept, records are clean, obligations are paid, and purpose is clear. Pay your obligations. Stop hiding from bills. Call the people. Make an arrangement. Keep the arrangement. A righteous person is not someone who pretends there is no debt. A righteous person faces responsibility. You cannot build a legacy on unpaid disorder. You cannot build wealth while lying to yourself about what you owe. Now, diligence. Proverbs says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to profit." Not wishes, not emotions, plans. Diligence means that you continue showing up after the excitement disappears. Diligence means you learn the skill, practice the skill, improve the skill, sell the skill, and manage the income from the skill. From 9 to 5 you may be employed, but from 5 to 12 you must be deployed. Say it. Employed, then deployed. Your job may feed you, but your deployment builds your future. After work, learn something, build something, read something, practice something. Start small. Begin a small enterprise. Clean houses, design flyers, repair things, cook meals, tutor children, cut lawns, sell knowledge, solve problems. Do not sit in front of entertainment for 6 hours and tell me you are waiting on God. God already gave you the evening. You wasted it. Purpose gives money direction. Without purpose, money becomes entertainment. With purpose, money becomes seed. That is why you must decide before you spend. Plan before spending. Save consistently. Give honestly. Reduce waste aggressively. Document faithfully. Develop diligently. These are not only financial habits, these are spiritual disciplines. Money is watching your order. Heaven is watching your stewardship. Your children are watching your example. Your future is watching your habits. And if you bring order, diligence, honesty, and purpose to what remains, then what remains can become seed, and seed can become increase. But if you continue wasting, leaking, lying, delaying, and consuming, do not blame God when money keeps passing through your hands. Money goes where it is managed. Now your need must become a system. Write that down. Your need must become a system. Stop saying only, "I need more money." That is a reaction. Start asking, what system must I build so money can stay, grow, and serve a purpose? That is responsibility. Need makes noise. Management builds structure. Need cries, "Help me." Management asks, what time will I wake up? What will I cut off? What will I record? What will I pay first? What will I learn next? What will I save every week? When need becomes management, pressure becomes progress. A system is repeated obedience. Say it. Repeated obedience. It is not one emotional decision at the altar. It is not one excited promise after a sermon. A system is what you do again and again when nobody is watching and nobody is applauding. A budget is repeated obedience. A schedule is repeated obedience. A savings rhythm is repeated obedience. A debt plan is repeated obedience. A learning plan is repeated obedience. A giving rhythm is repeated obedience. You cannot live by financial moods and expect kingdom results. The kingdom does not run on moods. It runs on laws. Some of you pray with intensity but live without structure. You cry on Sunday and waste on Monday. You declare abundance and then refuse to check your account. You ask God for increase, but your habits reject increase every day. Do not get quiet now. Stop praying for what your habits are rejecting. If you pray for discipline, but keep feeding distraction, your habits are voting against your prayer. If you pray for wealth, but keep consuming seed, your habits are voting against your prayer. If you pray for freedom, but refuse a debt plan, your habits are voting against your prayer. Heaven hears your words, but your life is also speaking. Fear consumes imagination. Fear makes you think only about survival. Fear says, what if it gets worse? Fear says, there is not enough. Fear says, hide it, spend it, grab it, panic. But vision organizes resources toward a future. Vision says, this dollar has an assignment. This hour has an assignment. This skill has an assignment. This pain will become wisdom. This pressure will become a plan. That is why the Bible says, write the vision. Why write it? Because what is not written cannot be managed. If your future exists only in your feelings, it will be defeated by your appetite. Write the budget, write the schedule, write the debt list, write the savings goal, write the learning plan, write the giving commitment. Put your need on paper until it becomes a system. Do not just say, I need to get out of debt. Which debt? How much is it? What is the interest? What is the minimum payment? What extra amount can you pay? What date will you finish? What must you stop buying? What must you sell? What conversation must you have? That is management. Do not just say, I need more income. What skill will you develop? What problem can you solve? Who needs that solution? How many hours each week will you practice? What will you offer? What will you charge? That is management. Do not just say, I need to save. How much will you save each week? Where will it go? What will you stop touching? What account will hold it? What emergency will it protect? That is management. And do not just say, I trust God. Show me your system. Trust is not carelessness wrapped in spiritual language. Trust is obedience with structure. God gave Noah dimensions for the ark. God gave Moses patterns for the tabernacle. Jesus made the people sit down before the bread multiplied. Kingdom faith is not vague. Kingdom faith can be organized. So begin small, but begin today. Set the budget, fix the schedule, choose the savings amount, call the creditor, cancel the leak, put the tithe first, study for 1 hour, build one skill, record 1 week of spending, clean 1 room, organize 1 drawer. Start with what is in your hand. Because if you cannot manage a week, why are you asking God for a wealthy life? If you cannot manage 100, why are you shouting for 10,000? If you cannot manage your evening, why are you begging for opportunity? Opportunity will reveal the same disorder you refuse to correct. Comment this declaration if you mean it. I choose kingdom management over fear. and I will be faithful with what is in my hand.
Not just words. Let it become a law in your house. Let your children see order. Let your money receive an assignment. Let your future receive seed. Let your fear lose authority. Because when need becomes management, pressure becomes progress. And the moment you stop reacting emotionally and start building systems faithfully, you begin to qualify for what you were crying for. Now let me raise your vision. The goal is not luxury, the goal is legacy. Write that down. The goal is legacy, not luxury. Kingdom wealth is not only spending power, kingdom wealth is assignment power. It is the ability to fund purpose, protect family, serve communities, own resources, solve problems, and leave something behind when your body is finished. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children." Not only his children, but his children's children. That means biblical prosperity thinks in generations. If all your money can do is make you look successful today, you are still thinking like a consumer. But if your money can educate children, buy land, build businesses, train leaders, fund ministry, and empower grandchildren you may never meet, now you are thinking like a steward. Do not get quiet now. Some people call it prosperity because they changed clothes. That is not prosperity, that is a receipt. Some people call it wealth because they bought a car. That is not wealth, that is depreciation with wheels. Some people call it blessing because they can impress people who do not even care about their destiny. No, kingdom wealth is not consumed for image. Kingdom wealth is managed for legacy. A consumer asks, "How can I look rich?" A steward asks, "What can I build that will still be working after I am gone?" A consumer spends to be seen. A steward invests to be useful. A consumer wants applause today. A steward wants children tomorrow to find doors already open because someone before them had discipline. This is dominion thinking. Dominion is not shouting louder than your bills. Dominion is management over territory. Dominion means you own something, cultivate something, improve something, protect something, and transfer something. God did not put Adam in a shopping mall. He put him in a garden. Land, resources, assignment, work, and management. He said, dress it and keep it. In other words, develop it and protect it. That is why assets matter. Land matters. Ownership matters. Skills matter. Wisdom matters. These things extend purpose beyond one lifetime. A car can carry you, but land can outlive you. A phone can entertain you, but a skill can feed you. A paycheck can help you survive, but ownership can help your children begin higher than you began. Do not only buy things that impress people, acquire things that empower purpose. You are not wealthy because you can spend. Anyone can spend. A child can spend. You are wealthy when what you manage continues producing. You are wealthy when your wisdom enters your children. You are wealthy when your name means trust. You are wealthy when your family inherits order instead of confusion, assets instead of excuses, discipline instead of appetite, and vision instead of fear. Some of you inherited nothing but struggle, and I understand that. But you must decide that struggle will stop being the family tradition. You may not have received land,
but you can begin learning ownership. You may not have received investments, but you can begin saving seed. You may not have received wisdom, but you can become the student your family needed. Somebody has to interrupt the cycle. Why not you? Measure prosperity differently. Do not measure it only by what you wear. Measure it by what remains. After you eat, what remains? After you earn, what remains? After you enjoy, what remains? After you are gone, what remains? If nothing remains, then your life was expensive but not productive. Measure prosperity by what multiplies. Does your money multiply? Does your knowledge multiply? Does your discipline multiply in your children? Does your business multiply opportunity? Does your land multiply value? Does your giving multiply impact? Kingdom people do not only possess, they produce. Measure prosperity by who is empowered after you. If your children inherit your bills but not your wisdom, you failed somewhere. If your family inherits your pictures but not your principles, you left memories but no mandate. If the next generation has to start over because you consumed everything, then you were not building a legacy. You were decorating poverty. So stop living only for image. Image is expensive. Legacy is productive. Image needs attention. Legacy needs discipline. Image buys symbols. Legacy buys substance. Image says, look at me. Legacy says, stand on my shoulders. Go home and ask, what am I building? Not only, what am I buying? Ask, what will my children know because I lived? What will they own because I managed? What habits will they carry because I demonstrated discipline? What doors will open because I refused to waste seed? Put land in your vision. Put ownership in your vision. Put education in your vision. Put skill in your vision. Put clean records in your vision. Put wisdom transfer in your vision. Teach your children how money works. Let them see the budget. Let them understand giving. Let them understand saving. Let them understand debt. Let them understand work. Do not raise consumers and then pray for stewards, because the kingdom is not trying to make you flashy. The kingdom is trying to make you faithful. God wants resources in hands that can protect purpose across generations. A good man leaves an inheritance. A good woman leaves an inheritance. A kingdom steward leaves more than noise, more than clothes, and more than stories. They leave systems, assets, wisdom, discipline, and open doors. So change the question. Stop asking, can I afford this image? Start asking, will this strengthen my legacy? Stop asking, will people think I am blessed? Start asking, will my children be empowered? Stop asking, can I enjoy it now? Start asking, can this multiply tomorrow? Kingdom wealth is managed for legacy, not consumed for image. And when that becomes your law, your money stops being a toy for appetite and becomes a tool for dominion. So now pick up what is already in your hand. Stop waiting for something dramatic while stepping over something available. God asked Moses, what is in your hand? Not what is in Pharaoh's hand. Not what is in your neighbor's hand. Not what is in the bank's hand. What is in your hand? Because whatever you refuse to manage in your hand cannot become authority in your future. Write this down and do not forget it. Need does not attract money. Management does. Fear does not multiply money. Order does. Tears do not create wealth. Stewardship does. Noise does not build legacy. Diligence does. Religious emotion does not cancel financial laws. Responsibility fulfills them. You can cry and still be disorderly. You can shout and still be wasteful. You can pray and still be lazy. Do not get quiet now. God can multiply what you manage, but He will not bless what you continue wasting. So here is your assignment for the next 30 days. Track every dollar. Every dollar. If you buy water, write it down. If you buy coffee, write it down. If you pay a bill, write it down. Let the numbers tell the truth. Remove one waste, not 10, one. Cancel one leak. Stop one foolish habit. Close one hole where money keeps escaping. Save something every week. I did not say save a fortune. Save something. Train your hand to preserve seed. Give faithfully. Put God first, not last. Let your money learn government before it learns appetite. Improve one skill that can serve other people. Learn, practice, sharpen, offer value. Money follows solutions. If you solve problems with excellence and manage the reward with discipline, increase has a reason to stay. Do not tell me you have nothing. You have time. You have attention. You have a mind. You have hands. You have relationships. You have experience. You have lessons from your pain. You have fragments. Pick them up. The next season may not begin with a miracle falling from heaven. It may begin with you finally respecting what heaven has already placed in your hands. And hear me carefully. God is not trying to embarrass you. He is not trying to expose you in order to destroy you. He is trying to mature you. He is trying to train your appetite, discipline your emotions, strengthen your character, and organize your life until resources can trust your hands. Because money is not the main problem. Mismanagement is the problem. Increase is not the problem. Disorder is the problem. If this word is calling you back to kingdom responsibility, subscribe. Share it with someone who is tired of financial fear. And comment the truth you are choosing to live. I will manage what God gave me. May discipline come upon your house. May wisdom govern your decisions. May order replace confusion. May honest increase find your hands. May every leak be closed, every seed be protected, every skill be sharpened, and every resource be assigned to purpose. May your life stop performing for image and start building for inheritance. And may your children's children bless God because you picked up what was already in your hand and managed it.